you must have some financial qualifications that you require. Is that reflected in some of the documents you've promised to give us?
No. So 15 years ago, one of the problems when we sat down with Bill DeReal at the Office of Healthcare Quality, we asked what the problems were. They said, well, food is terrible and labor's not good. They're not paid enough. And one of the other problems was to go into, you might have had this with your, is it your mother that's in a home? David, is your mother?
Yeah, it is, but go ahead.
So you likely had to pay a security deposit, maybe even a community fee along with the first month. And that's a real problem for people, regardless of their wealth. If they move in and 2 weeks later, they don't like where they are, they don't like the care, they have to come up with another 3 months of rent, another community fee, another security deposit, another first month's rent to move. So Jeanette's idea 15 years ago was to not charge that, just to charge it like you would pay as you go.
I honestly do not take a fee until the first day that they get there, their first month.
Right? What do you do to confirm that people have the resources to pay you?
I bank on just their honesty. Really, I don't. I know. I'm like, most business people are going to be like, why don't you? I don't get into their finances. I assume they can. And I have had people that have said, you know, we're coming up on 4 years. Our mom and dad or whoever is running light short on some monies, and I have negotiated those contracts. So changed it. And usually they're veterans, families of are running short of money. And I have given people, I have lowered those prices and made it so that they can stay at their home that they've been living with me at one of mine. So I do not, you are correct, I do not go into anybody's finances. And
so to the extent that anyone on who I'm reporting to here is concerned about what the financial viability of the institution is on the issue of how much money is coming in, basically what we've got is a determination on your part without any written qualifications provided by the residents of their ability to pay?
Correct. And David, I would say in 15 years, but for a few veterans, I've had little issues. A senior resident generally lives anywhere from 2 to 7. I think Randy Davis's dad was longest resident I've had, 7 years, which is a long time. So I will keep my seniors with me. I don't just say, oh, hey, you can go off to a home, a nursing home, and they're going to be treated horribly. I'd rather negotiate with them. And guess what? I can do that. I'm capable of saying to the family, please stay with me. Don't just because you're running out of money.
Let's go to the financial.
Yeah.
I think
you're like, you're getting in finances, but
financial
I've got the heart in it.
Financial viability. So the lawyers back and forth made a lot of hay about the rates called out in the appraisal. The appraisers had a hard time appraising the value because there isn't, certainly not in Maryland, and you have to go quite a distance to get a home like this. But I will tell you that the revenue and expenses of every group home and assisted living in the state of Maryland, and certainly in Anne Arundel County, we have to provide those documents. They're public record at the Department of Aging. You do it once a year. In 15 years, I will tell you right now, we have never made a profit, and we can afford to do that. This is Jeanette's passion. This becomes a kid's passion. And, you know, a lot of times she'll just say, you know, this person, you know, can't afford to pay this anymore. This is what we're doing. And It is what it is. So the financial viability is, it's like saying, you know, Hunter's a professional triathlete, Morgan's a soon-to-be professional soccer player, Tyler's a soccer player, doesn't make enough money, has never made enough money as a professional soccer player, hopes she will at some point. So we're able to have her play soccer and travel all over the world.
Here, I kind of get a feeling of, well, I kind of feel like, David, you're asking whether I'm trying to find, or am I going to have somebody who can't afford living here, knowing, I don't know. It's going to be a particular client that is looking here. We're not looking at somebody who can only afford $2,500 a month. I'm not going to put them here because that doesn't make sense. My staff I pay more than that. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So it's a quality. I am particular. I'm going to be particular. And if somebody calls me and says I can only afford so and so, well then I unfortunately sometimes can't help them. I don't know if you're asking what the rates are here or what they're going to be at this home, but it is of a family member that you and I would want living here. And I mean, I need to have a level 1 type person here, or a level 2. That's someone who is fairly capable of doing their day-to-day, but needs help. Might be blind or slightly blind or deaf or whatever their disability is, but it's living here.
To give you a recent example, David, when Jeanette closed the doors, she across the board and just presented it with me one day, and I said, of course, yes. There's been no COVID, no flu, no virus. The homes have ultraviolet and negative ion protection. It's the best in the state of Maryland, one of the best in the country. She gave all the employees a 20% raise. Just gave them a 20% raise because they might have a family member who lost their job.
Well, right. I mean, staff are the ones that I'm going to be worried about the most in regards to this COVID. And I have to constantly ask questions.